Sunday. It's the Height Differential. That's the 6'6" Neil. I'm the 4'10" Nick. We did it. We missed the last two Sundays, I think. Your wife got on and said, hey, we can't be slacking, and
We're back on a Sunday. It's about time. Feels good to be back on a Sunday.
I will say the Bengals playing on Thursday night helps the cause.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Makes it a little easier. But yeah, it's good to be here on a Sunday, and a lot of things to talk about. Talk about some Shohei. We'll talk a lot of college football, some NFL. But I mean, I think we got to start off with Shohei Otani's performance in Game 4 of the NLCS. 6 innings pitched, 10 Ks, and 3 home runs. I don't know in the history of sports if we've ever seen anything like that.
No, it is without question in my mind. It's the greatest individual single game performance I've ever seen. I mean, like you said, not only do you hit 3 home runs in a clinching game of an NLCS for your team to go to the World Series, you hit 3 bombs in itself. Like that's impressive. And then not only that, you go on the mound, you pitch 6 innings, only give up 2 hits, no runs, and 10 Ks, and get the win as a pitcher. I mean, if you think about like in Major League history, the players that have been the two-way players, and Babe Ruth comes to mind because he's probably the most famous to ever do it. But Shohei Otani's performance in Game 4 is, in my mind, there's no question, the greatest single game performance I've ever seen.
Well, to prepare for the show, I got on ChatGPT and I asked the same question I asked you to open the show. And ChatGPT says, utterly unprecedented in modern professional sports. Because I was just wondering if there's something else even out there comparable, like in maybe a sport that I don't follow. And maybe there's just something that exists. The closest comparisons, they talk about Babe Ruth in 1918 and in 1919, where he once pitched a shutout and hit a home run in the same game. But that was a regular season game, and that was a game in June. So not the same, not getting you to the World Series, but pitching 9 strong and hitting a home run is pretty crazy. And then they also talked about Otani's World Baseball Classic final, where he closed the game for Japan and struck out Mike Trout to win the title. But he didn't hit 3 home runs in that game.
No, he did not.
So,
I mean, there's nothing that comes to mind. To me, it stands out as in any sport. Like in any sport, for somebody to do what he did, it's not been done. He's just a machine. He's an absolute machine, and he might be the best pure baseball player of all time. He's on his way.
Well, he's 2 players.
Yeah.
He's 2 players.
Yeah.
And I know the whole salary thing with him is odd because it's all deferred. But no matter what you're paying him, if you are getting 2 players.
It's money well spent.
Pitching. Huh?
I mean, I know he's making a lot of money. Like you said, it's all deferred, but it is money that's well spent. Well spent.
It still boggles my mind how the Angels just like, all right, let him go. Like
how the Angels never were anything. They were not good with him and Mike Trout on the same team. They never even made the playoffs with those 2 guys. Like, I don't know what was going on in like they're in LA as well, but with the Angels organization, for you have that much talent, those 2 guys on your team, and then not even make the playoffs, that's pretty bad.
It's asinine. But it just shows you baseball is different. Like, if you had those 2 guys on a basketball team, you're going to the finals every year if you've got 2 of the best players. In baseball, I mean, you've got to have so many elements to be a good team. But I also was like, give me an analogy. Give me a different sport that would be comparable to Otani's performance. And they gave me one for basketball, and they gave me one for football. I think the football one is better.
I mean, it's probably got to be like football. It's got to be like a Deion Sanders playing both ways and catching 2 touchdowns and having a pick 6 or something, like something like that kind of route. But I mean, I don't know.
So the basketball one, they said, is like LeBron scoring 45 and getting 8 blocks and 10 assists. And being a lockdown defender. That's not comparable because that's what a basketball everybody has to play.
Correct.
Both sides.
Yeah, play both sides. Yes.
Now, so football is really, you can compare it because players play offense and defense. So they said it would be like Mahomes or Josh Allen or Burrow throwing for 350 and 4 touchdowns and then intercepting 2 passes as a starting safety,
Yeah,
which that would be comparable,
I agree. Yes.
but we're never gonna see that.
No, of course not. I mean, Travis Hunter right now is the only one I know that actually plays both ways. And so, like I said, he's got to catch 3 touchdown passes on offense and probably have 2 interceptions on defense. And the Jaguars have to win like 50-7 if he does that. So, I there's nothing comparable.
Yeah, and the Dodgers, didn't have the regular season that they've had the last couple of years, but, I mean, they're just waltzing through this postseason, and now they'll just wait and see if it's gonna be the Mariners or the Blue Jays as they try to win back-to-back World Series.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see any way of stopping the Dodgers. I mean, the starting pitching that they have, the three-headed monster, in the rotation, and then the offense that they have, it's going to be a tall task for whoever comes out of the AL.
No, and, I mean, that's the thing too, it's not just him either. Like, their rotation has been incredible throughout the whole postseason. We went through the numbers on that in our last podcast, and in an era where we're seeing starters not, go 6, 7, 8 as often as they used to. They're kinda old school in their the way their pitching is set up, and the money they spend allows them to do that, but, yeah, whoever wins, in the ALCS, I don't the Dodgers are just rolling. I don't see how they're gonna get knocked off.
No. And then speaking of the ALCS, we talked about the Mariners lineup and who was hitting and who wasn't hitting on the last podcast, and I was rooting for my guy Gino Suarez, and he's not had quite that good of a ALCS up until Game 5, and in Game 5 he came alive, didn't he?
Well, yeah, I mean, they needed him to.
Yeah, but yeah, what two bombs, had that grand slam in the bottom of the eighth, tied at 2, hits that grand slam, basically puts them up 3-2 in the series, so they're on the doorstep now.
Well, he's always been a streaky hitter, so you gotta hope that he keeps that hot bat as they come out to Toronto for Game 6 tonight, but we talked about it. If he got his bat going, I mean, the Mariners are gonna be dangerous, and now they're 1 win away from getting their first ever World Series, and, I mean, it'd be fun to watch the Mariners try to beat the Dodgers and get that first World Series, but just playing in it for the first time, that fan base deserves that,
No, there's no question. Like they would be awesome to see. There's no doubt.
and always fun to watch the Big Dumper, to watch him get a few more ABs in the
Big Tom.
Fall Classic,
That's right. Yeah.
so we'll see if the Mariners can clinch their first ever World Series tonight, and I guess we need to get into a little college football. Lot of good games. I think we need to start off with the one on Friday night as our own Louisville Cardinals took care of business and knocked off the previously undefeated Miami Hurricanes.
How about that? I mean, what a game. What an absolute game. Jeff Brom, 4-0 now against top 5 teams when his team is unranked. He pulled some tricks out of the bag. Started off that first drive with the fake field goal, set up the first score, and got a little creative with the offense. Took a 14-0 lead, and they played well. The defense especially played well. Miller Moss played well. Chris Bell, like the entire group.
Yeah, I mean, the thing with Miller Moss is, I mean, yeah, he threw for 250 yards. It was probably his best game of the season, but he didn't throw any picks.
No turnovers. That's right.
And, they won the turnover battle 4-1. They had the one Isaac Brown fumble, but you pick off Carson Beck 4 times, and it's going to put you in a good situation to win the game. Isaac Brown didn't look to me like he was 100% healthy, but he still had over 100 yards and
15, yeah, 15,
averaged
15
almost
carries,
8.
113 yards. So, I mean, Isaac Brown, he looked good for most of the game, minus that mistake he had late. But he did look like the Isaac Brown of old.
Yeah, and Chris Bell looked like one of the best wide receivers in the country.
Yeah. I
I
mean,
mean,
Chris
what he had
Bell,
135 yards and 2 tutties. So
9 for 136. First Cardinal with 3 straight 100-yard receiving games since Tutu and Tutu Atwell in 2019. Chris Bell's he's making some money now. I mean, he's proven with his size and his speed. I mean, that's a name you're going to see on Sundays, years to come.
and even dating back to his Purdue days, these are the games that you see Jeff Brom figure out a way to win a lot, and he's continuing to do that with Louisville. And on the other side, Cristobal, it's the 10th time that Miami's lost as a favorite in his tenure. So if you kind of broke down the numbers going into the game, I don't know if the result would actually surprise you.
No, I mean, and we give we've been talking about the Louisville offense, but like let's give some credit to that Louisville defense. I mean,
Well, I said they had four
absolutely.
picks.
I mean, 4 picks. They held Miami to 63 rushing yards on 24 attempts, which was 2.6 per rush. And, and coming in, Miami averaged 163 yards on the ground. So, they stopped the run. They forced Carson Beck to actually have to throw the ball. And when he did, I mean, the coverages were great. I mean, some of those picks were absolutely how they caught it. I mean, it was, incredible. TJ Capers with that last second or that last drive pick where he caught it with his fingertips. I mean, the defense were in great positions. Like I said, stopping the run, making Beck throw the ball, and I mean, it was just a great game plan all around.
Yeah, and what we talked about where we thought maybe the Cards would be in the poll, and 19, right?
19, 19.
So, and now they get a BC team next week for homecoming, and got to keep the train moving.
Keep it moving. That's right.
So, looking at what game you want to talk about next?
I mean, we got the Hoosiers on today.
Well,
Or we
you
can
want
talk
to talk
about
about
that.
your boys' extension first because we talked about this a lot last week. How it was very likely that he wouldn't be at IU, and they broke out the piggy bank.
They sure did. I mean, 8 years, 93 million, so it's 11.6 per year. Third highest paid coach now in college football, behind Kirby Smart and Ryan Day. So, I mean, IU they're serious about it. They ponied up. They said we're serious about this. We want football to have long term success, even as a basketball school. So, good for them. Locked them up. So all those rumors can be put to bed, and like they came out and took care of business against Michigan State. I mean, they struggled a little bit early on the defensive side. They were down 10-3, but then after that, they just put it on them. Ended up winning at 38-13. And I mean, once again, Mendoza, he might be the Heisman favorite.
He's up there, but I just going back to Signetti, like you really do just have to give the administration credit for just absolutely unloading and giving him that contract because what he's done for that program is it's unprecedented. I mean, I talked about last week how, they've been mediocre at best throughout the pretty much their tenure. And now for 2 years, they're going to go to the playoff both years. And if he loses, there's a very good chance you're going back to where you were. And the administration didn't want to risk that. And they they're a basketball school, but they haven't found the success in basketball that they, yearn for recently. So you've got this guy football coach and lock him up and do your thing there. And good on them because it's pretty crazy to watch with IU being one of the best football programs in the
Number
country.
2 in the new poll. IU football ranked number 2 in the country. Who would have thought that would ever be a thing?
No, it's yeah. I never thought I would no, like not even a question. But it makes you realize if you can get a coach and a QB, you can win in this NIL era. But you gotta get those 2 things right, and obviously, you've gotta have other pieces as well. But if you can get those 2 pieces and then plug in everything else, you've got a chance to win. It's just that's a really hard thing to do.
Yeah. No, you're right.
So, the number 1 team is still Ohio State, and nobody can score against them. Like, shut out Wisconsin, and here's the scary thing, Julian Sayin is getting better and better every game. Threw for 400 yards, 4 touchdowns. Carnell Tate and Jeremiah Smith combined for 200 yards, and Tate had 2 receiving touchdowns. Wisconsin had 144 yards. So, and they are what? They're 7-0. And in those 7 games, Texas scored 7, Grambling scored 0, Ohio scored 9, Washington scored 6, Minnesota scored 3, Illinois scored 16, and 2 of those touchdowns were late. Wisconsin did not score. They have allowed 41 points in those 7 games.
Holy, that is insane. That's just insane how good that defense has been all year. I mean, they're just they're just whooping teams left and right every Saturday. There's nobody that's in my mind. There's nobody that's going to slow them down. They are by far and away, I think, the favorite right now to repeat as a national title.
Well, and their offense is just getting better.
They are getting better.
Fans getting more comfortable. And if that offense gets clicking, you know the weapons they have on offense. And if their QB's figuring it out and playing the way he played on Saturday, they're gonna be tough to beat. But I will say one team, Alabama, looks like a team that might be able to play with the way Ty Simpson's playing right now. You know, they just went through this incredible stretch of they're the first team in SEC history to win 4 straight games against ranked teams with no bye and they beat Georgia, Vanderbilt, Missouri, and Tennessee. And, you know, all this talk about Kalen DeBoer, his record against in ranked matchups, he's 15-2 with the 882 win percentage, which is the highest winning percentage of all time.
I mean, yeah, like they after that, whatever that was against Florida State to start the year, I don't know, but they quickly fixed whatever was wrong with them because they are just rolling teams right now. Like I said, like Tennessee was a good team coming in. Tennessee ranked number 11, and Alabama just goes out and beats them 37-20. I mean, they just took it to them. Like as you said, Ty Simpson, 2 more touchdowns, threw for 253 yards, and then it was a decent game early. And then that last play of the first half, a 99-yard pick six, kind of put that game away. Took it to a 3-score game at halftime when Tennessee was driving to make that a 1-score game. But Alabama is just rolling teams right now, and outside of Ohio State, they've got to be probably, in my mind, the second best team.
Yeah, I don't think there's question. But yeah, you're right. That 14-point swing at the end of the first half is just you're going into scoring instead. They're streaking down the sideline and getting 6 on their own. Yeah, it's hard to overcome something like that. We saw it at the beginning of the Georgia Tech Duke game where Duke was going in to score
Yeah,
on the first
yeah,
drive of the game, and they had a scoop and
fumble
score
6.
where they
Yeah,
ran at 98 yards. And those plays where they just go the other way, it's just they're demoralizing. And when you're playing a team as good as Alabama, they're just that's something that's really tough to overcome.
yeah. I mean, if you don't play a near perfect game, you're against Alabama, you're not going to have a chance. And Tennessee was not perfect, and they found out.
And the Georgia Ole Miss game, you're wondering if anybody's ever going to get a stop. Just
Very
going
high
back
school.
and forth. Saw both Kirby Smart and Lane Kiffin with their antics on the sideline. Not sure who burned more calories, but they both were very animated on the sideline. I mean, it looked like Ole Miss they had that 10-point lead, and then all of a sudden everything flips in the fourth quarter. Georgia outscores them 17-0. Ole Miss had 13 yards in the fourth quarter, and Georgia kind of cruises there to win. Stockton was 12 for 12 for 135 yards and 3 touchdowns in the second half.
Yeah, I mean, Stockton played well. You mentioned in the second half, but I mean, he only had 5 incompletions for the game. He was 26-31, 289, and 4 touchdowns. No picks, 4 touchdowns. Like that's getting it done. And Georgia, yeah, like you said, Ole Miss looked like they had it. I mean, they had a good game plan. They were up going to that fourth, and they just looked like they ran out of gas. I don't know, but high scoring game, a lot of fun to watch.
No, it was great, and it was the first road SEC game for Trinidad Chambliss in the first 3 quarters. I mean, he played great, and then I don't know if Georgia's switched things up defensively or what in the fourth, but it just was a totally different game, and Georgia goes on to win by 8 in that one. The Vanderbilt game going on at home and beating LSU. It's their first season with multiple top 15 wins.
Yeah, I mean, it's the first time that they've been 6-1 since 1950. I mean, you think about that. So that's 75 years. This is the best record they've had in 75 years. I mean, they've got it rolling. I mean, Pavia, another great game. He had 1 touchdown throwing, but ran for 86 yards and 2 touchdowns. I mean, the confidence in Vandy, like they're a confident team and they're a good team. So I mean, if you don't bring it, like they're going to beat you, and they're probably, if you think about in the SEC landscape, they've got to be probably one of the top 3-4 teams in the league.
I mean, I don't know. Like it's such a good league. We haven't even talked about Texas A&M yet, who's still undefeated. But I mean, what they're doing at Vandy is incredible. And if Pavia plays the way he played yesterday, I mean, they're going to give Bama more of a challenge than they did a couple weeks ago. Um, and like I said, he only had 1 rushing touchdown, but he had 1 passing touchdown, but he had the rushing touchdown to give him the lead late. And then at the end of the game, he makes that smart play and slides down to the
Goes
three
down.
to just let
Yeah.
the clock run out. And I don't know. And LSU got their offense rolling a little bit. Their offense has struggled, but I just don't know how good LSU really is, to be honest with you.
No, I mean, Vandy had a good game plan. They ran for 240 yards on LSU, and LSU came into the game the 21st ranked rushing defense in the country, only giving up 102. Vandy just took it to them, and they just straight out bullied them and beat them. You said I don't know how good LSU is. Their offense has struggled for most of the year, and they finally did put up some points. They put up 24 points yesterday, but the defense couldn't stop him. You fix one problem, and all of a sudden you have another.
I know. I wonder if the fan base is getting a little tired of Brian Kelly up there or down there in Baton Rouge. But
He's
we
got
need
that
to talk.
accent going. He's got that accent going though.
Well, that fake accent, yeah. We need to talk about Texas A&M.
Okay.
And I think Mike Elko probably loves it that they're sitting there undefeated, number 4 in the country, and not too many people are talking about them. But they go to Arkansas. They're playing, Petrino in his second game as the interim head coach, and figure out a way to win that one 45-42. But we've talked about it time and time again. No matter how you win, as long as you can get that W, that's all that matters.
Yeah, and they are racking up the W's. There's no doubt about it. Like you said, nobody's really talking about them. They're not blowing teams out. They're not like a sexy style of football, I guess. I don't know. They're just kind of quietly there, and they're top 5 teams. I guess they're up to number 3 now, probably in the polls with Miami dropping out. But nobody's talking about them. That's probably, like you said, how they prefer it. I don't know what their remaining schedule looks like, but they haven't played, the Georgias, or they haven't played Vandy yet. And like I said, Vandy's probably one of the best teams, and they haven't played the Ole Misses of the world yet. So, coming down the stretch, I don't know what their schedule. I have to look it up, but
they have LSU, Missouri, South Carolina, then non-con game against Samford, and then they close at Texas. So
nothing
I
really
mean, as far as being in the SEC, their schedule's pretty light.
Yeah, I'd say it's nothing too tough the rest of the way. So they're in the driver's seat to get to Atlanta for that title game.
Yeah, I would imagine they're going to be favored in every game.
Yeah,
looking at that schedule. So
yeah.
And Oregon, after the loss last week, just absolutely rolls Rutgers 56-10. Georgia Tech remains undefeated with the 27-18 win at Duke. They got 17 points in the fourth quarter to kind of put that one away. Notre Dame gets a late kick return touchdown to kind of get some separation in the USC game. They ran for 300 yards. Ran for 230 yards and a touchdown himself. Oklahoma got back on the winning track against South Carolina, 26-7. IU remains undefeated with the 24-21 win over the Utes. You gotta love Bear Bachmeier. Freshman QB, doesn't look like a conventional QB, was committed to Stanford, never played there, transferred during the spring season, and ended up at BYU. And where's number 47 as a QB? You gotta like that.
I do love that. I do like that.
And he's got a brother on the team. His name is Tiger.
Okay, I like Tigers.
So Bear and Tiger.
Bear and Tiger.
Yeah.
Do they have any other animal siblings? They got like a lion in there, or maybe a giraffe?
Well, they might have a brother named Giraffe. I'll have to look that up. I'll have the information on the next show. If we'll talk about Snake and Giraffe, the 2 younger brothers. Texas beats Kentucky in overtime. They had 79 yards, and they had 8 first downs. Kentucky had 26 first downs to Texas's 8. Kentucky had 395 yards to Texas's 179. And in a Kentucky fashion, they figure out a way to lose.
Yeah, like if you're a Kentucky fan, you're looking at that and you just how did you lose this game? Like, it's almost unfathomable when you look at those stats on how you only had 10 points or 13 points in regulation. Like, you need to win the game. Like, you dominate a game like that, you have to find a way to win, and they did somehow. But,
well, and you get a 22-yard play on the first play of overtime. You get down to the 3.
and then you try to jump over the goal line from the 5-yard line twice.
They
So
run the same play
same play.
twice.
Yeah.
And it clearly was not going to work on third down. And first off, if you're going to jump into the end zone, you jump from the 1 or the 2, not from the 5. And then you do it twice in a row.
Yeah, like, the first one wasn't even close. Not even
No,
close, yards short. And then you're like, let's try this one again. And you're still 2 yards short. Like, I don't know. I don't understand it. That's how you lose, but they had
but
no business losing that game, and
well,
somehow
if I
they did.
blindly had told you before, if you didn't watch this game, and I said one quarterback was 12 of 27 for 132 yards, and one quarterback is 31 of 39 for 258 yards, which one are you going to think is Arch Manning, and which one are you going to think is Cutter Boley?
Oh, there's no question. You would think that the second one there would be Arch Manning, but he, like some of these throws he was making, like the Texas receivers were open, and he's just throwing it behind them. He's throwing it at their feet. It's like, I don't know what's going on. For like the hype that he has and the talent that he has, he was just off yesterday.
I mean, I don't know. There's just so much pressure on him, and it hasn't been the product that everybody had expected it to be. But I just can't imagine having that amount of pressure to be so good at what you're trying to do when really you haven't done anything before this year. And he walks into the Ohio State game in the first game of the season, expected to be one of the best players in the country. And I mean, it's not even close right now to that.
No, it's not. It's, I don't know. Like they come off a big win last week, against Oklahoma in that rivalry, and you go into Kentucky, and Kentucky hasn't played well, this year. And you expect them to kind of dominate, and they haven't. And Arch Manning was a big part of why they struggled yesterday. So I don't know if there's an answer. I don't know what the fix is, but maybe it was just an off game. But he's had a couple off games, this year. So, but like you said, the pressure of being a Manning and all that came with it, and him being a preseason Heisman favorite and all of that, it's tough to live up to. And he's not, to this point, he's not living up to that.
Yeah. And I mean, just the media, and I mean, everybody wants to talk about it because he's a Manning, and it's part of the business, right? But it's got to be tough for him right now. And I guess next week, big noon kickoff is going to Bloomington for the Hoosiers and the Bruins on
Bruins.
Saturday, the noon game.
I mean, the Bruins 3 straight wins since Arian Foster was fired. So, like they're better now than what we thought they were. So, IU can't sleep on them. So they've got to come play a good game if they're going to go out with a win.
So, yeah, a lot of good games in college football. It's hard to believe we're over halfway through the season already. And then to get in the NFL, I think we got to start off with Thursday Night Football. We were there.
Yeah.
The Bengals rallied late, and Evan McPherson's field goal with 9 seconds to go puts them up 33-31 as the Bengals knock off the Steelers and keep their season alive.
Do we get like a commemorative Icy Hot Bowl trophy? Like does Joe Flacco get a 1-year supply of Icy Hot to rub on his muscles, or how's that work? Because Joe Flacco, he came out and he was firing on all cylinders, man. Like, he played a great football game, threw for 342 yards, 3 touchdowns, and no picks. Like, he had this Bengals offense looking like the Bengals offense should look, and T. Higgins and Jamar Chase were on point. Jamar Chase setting the franchise record, 16 catches, had 161 yards and a touchdown. T. Higgins got in the end zone. I mean, this Bengals offense finally got a running game going with Chase Brown, who was over 100 yards on only 11 carries for 108. So this Bengals offense looks like the Bengals offense we expected them to look like with Joe Burrow. It's just a different Joe that's under center.
Well, the running game is a huge part of it. I mean, this is the first time they ran the ball all year. But I want the trophy. You talked about the trophy. There should be a big, giant bottle of Icy Hot.
Why not?
And it should be presented by, like, Shaq. Like, he should have been there at midfield at the end of the game. And a big bronze bottle of Icy Hot.
Yeah.
And, like, the lid could come off of it and the light could shine. But, yeah, you saw Louisville. They had Howard Snellenberger's boots trophy. So they could have done something similar to that. But I think it would be really cool if it would have been Shaq that that presented it to him.
Yeah, I mean, Shaq is the most famous spokesman for Icy Hot, so yeah, I would agree with that.
But no, it just we talked about the struggles of Jake Browning, and you see Joe Flacco in his second game as a Bengal. The weapons that he has, he's just absolutely giddy right now. And he's getting the ball out quicker than Jake Browning was, which I mean, he's a veteran. He knows. I mean, the offensive line has looked better because I don't think they had to protect as much. But I mean, throw it to your guys, dude. That's what he's doing. That's why you paid Jamar and T the money that you did, because they are both number one wide receivers
Yes.
and they both need to get the ball. And Joe Flacco did that on Thursday night. And they were able to establish their run game with Chase Brown averaging almost 10 yards a pop, which prior to tonight or prior to Thursday night, they were lucky to get him average 2 to 3 yards a pop. So if you can get the run game going with the weapons that they have, that makes the offense really scary. And I mean, and Joe Flacco is just going to sit back there with his experience, make the throws that are open. I mean, Jamar Chase was just running the same route over and over, and Pittsburgh couldn't do anything with it. I mean, you said
No,
it, 16 catches, dude. He had
he
a million targets every single time. Just throw it
yeah,
to Jamar.
he absolutely abused Jalen Ramsey on Thursday night. I mean, Jalen Ramsey was just turned around. He didn't know what was coming. He couldn't stop him. They put him on T. Higgins, and T. Higgins made him look silly as well. So, but credit to the game plan. I mean, I'm hard on Zach Taylor. I don't think he's a great coach. I think that the talent that the talent that the Bengals have mask a lot of his deficiencies. But he called a good game. And I don't know how much of the game he called, because after the game, Joe Flacco said he didn't understand half the plays that were being called, and they kind of just improvised half of them, whatever. But, I think most of it was probably Zach Taylor, the kind of the game plan that he called. And like you said, getting the ball out quick, not relying on that offensive line to have to protect the quarterback for 3, 4, 5 seconds in the pocket. So, I'll give Zach Taylor his flowers for this week. Hopefully, moving forward, we see more of this.
Well, I mean, yeah, this team's not going to win if they're not scoring points, and they really hadn't scored points all year. I mean, I guess in the Jacksonville game a little bit, but they really hadn't scored points all year, and it's just their defense not going to be good enough to win 13-10 games. But you talk about Zach Taylor, and you talk about the T play, the clincher, where he slid down at the 3-yard line, where he easily could have went in and scored.
Yes.
And, it's a very unselfish play.
Very unselfish.
But you can't let your defense go back out there with a minute to go. Or no, how much time was left? Like
when he
20?
slid down, it was over. It was about a minute 30.
Yeah, you can't let them. They're going to score and you're going to lose.
There's no doubt in my mind that defense would have not have held up.
Yes.
Like they would have. Pittsburgh would have won that game.
But you talk about giving Zach Taylor credit, like he's in their ear during the play call saying, "Hey, if you get loose, get down inside the 5." And because your defense isn't very good, Trey's not out there, and they make that play. And I mean, you just feel so much better about Evan McPherson kicking a 35-yarder than you do with the defense stopping the Steelers for the last minute.
Yeah, no, there's no question. Like your best chance to win is exactly what happened. And as you said, credit goes to Zach Taylor for reminding the guys, like, hey, if you are loose and you are breaking away and about to score, get down, because the game is going to basically be over. And even with 7 seconds left, I was holding my breath because Aaron Rodgers just launched the ball 70 yards like it was nothing. I'm like, oh damn. Like, uh-oh. And then, the defense made a good play, knocked it down. But I mean, nerve-wracking.
Everybody talked like how they're both 40 years old. It's the second time, and the second matchup, Breeze and Brady did it several times. But I mean, they both look really good. Both Flacco and Rodgers look really good.
Aaron Rodgers moved around. We didn't get much pressure on. We had no sacks. But sometimes when we actually did get a little pressure up the middle, I mean, he just ran to the outside. He escaped the pocket like he was 25 years old and just flings the ball. He throws the ball so effortlessly and throws it so far so effortlessly and accurately. It's incredible what he's doing at his age.
Yeah, and I think you also need to give the fan base their props after the stripe out 2 weeks ago in against Detroit, where there were so many Lions fans and a lot of blue in the crowd, and the stripe out was terrible. The whiteout was awesome.
And we've been to multiple Bengals Steelers games, and this to me, assuming a Thursday night had a lot to do with it, this is by far and away the fewest Steelers fans I've seen in Cincinnati in any of the games that I've been to. So credit to Bengals fans for not giving away their tickets and selling their tickets, coming out, sellout crowd, wearing all white. It looked great. The fans were great. The atmosphere was great. Uh, so kudos to the Bengals fans.
And kudos to the Bengals for saving their season because you lose that one. It's the Steelers are pretty much running away with it. And Mike Tomlin now, I mean, his comments before the game where he talked about Cleveland and how ridiculous it was that they traded Joe Flacco to a in division rival, which I mean, I agree with him. I agree with him. It's wild to me. But he's hating that
He's
trade
right.
even more now.
No, he's right. If he was good enough to be your starting quarterback, what are you doing trading him to a division rival in their one position of absolute need? Like, makes no sense. But thank you, Cleveland.
Yeah. So Joe Flacco and the Bengals saved their season. And what game stuck out to you today?
Um, I think it's more of the domination that the Kansas City Chiefs put on the Oakland Raiders. I mean, they got Rasheed Rice back, and he's in the end zone twice today. And unfortunately, the Chiefs once again are the Chiefs, and they're good. So I think the domination of the Chiefs says a lot about where they are and where they're going. And they're looking like probably one of the favorites in the AFC once again.
Well, and, I mean, you kind of is a key for a lot of these games today. The Rams just absolutely dominate the Jags in London 35-7. The Browns put it on the fish mammals 31-6.
We need a welfare check on our guy Carl.
Yeah, Mike Vrabel and the Patriots, after being down early, just completely put it on the Titans 31-13. So a lot of blowouts today. And what the Cowboys put it on the Commanders 44-22. So a lot of blowouts today.
Yeah, a lot of blowouts, and another one that was a 14-point game. But once again, I gotta give myself credit. The Indianapolis Colts on the road against a pretty good Chargers team put up 38 points. They win that game 38-24 in a game that really wasn't close throughout. Like, the Colts dominated from start to finish, and they're looking like a team that they can do some things.
Can we just point out the fact that you opened that by saying, "I gotta give myself credit."
I do gotta give myself credit.
I gotta give myself credit.
You won't give me credit, so I'll give myself credit.
But no, dude. Uh, the Colts, I mean, week after week, they just keep doing it. And Justin Herbert threw for 420 yards. But I think a lot of that when they were down big in the second half.
And he threw that pick in the end zone. He had some mistakes that really cost the Chargers in that one.
But I mean, Daniel Jones once again throws for almost 300 yards, and Jonathan Taylor rushes for just under 100 yards, and just I don't know.
They're doing it. I don't know how they're doing it, but they're doing it.
I think they're gonna move up on our top 10 list when we do that again on Wednesday.
Yeah, yeah, they'll climb. And the New England Patriots. I mean, I know that, like you mentioned, like there was a domination in Tennessee, and Tennessee is just absolute garbage. But how good does that feel for Mike Vrabel going back to Tennessee and just sticking it to the team that let you go a couple years ago?
I mean, it's gotta feel really good. But I mean, everybody knew that the Patriots weren't gonna win that game.
The Titans.
I mean, the Titans weren't gonna win that game. The Titans are terrible. They got off to an early lead, but they weren't gonna maintain that. Uh, since Vrabel was fired by the Titans, he has the Titans have 4 total wins in
Oof.
24 games since he was fired. The Patriots have 5 wins this year.
It's one of the most baffling. If you're a Titan fan, you've just got to be like, what are we doing? Like, what is the plan in Tennessee? I don't see a plan. I don't see a way forward for them. It's a disaster down in Nashville.
I mean, they've changed GMs 2 or 3 times in the last 5 years. They changed head coaches like nobody, like they're gonna have a hard time finding somebody who wants to come in there and be a head coach with the volatility in that front office. And I mean, it would be really hard to be a Titans fan right now. I'll just say that.
I know a guy who might want to take that job because I don't think he's going to be coaching college football much longer. Chapel Bill. Put Chapel Bill down there in in Nashville.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure they'd take him. And I'm sure he'd I mean, I guess he'd do better there than he's doing in North Carolina because you can't do much worse than that, but
Maybe his young girlfriend will take him out to the honky tonk, teach him how to line dance a little bit. It'd be kind of fun to see Chapel Bill down there with some cowboy hats on down in Nashville.
yeah, she also might find her a country music singer and move on from Mobile, so
That could
not
be.
sure not sure he wants to do that.
That could be.
Um, who's as bad as the Titans? The Jets?
The Jets. The only team that has not won a game in the NFL is the New York Jets, and once again, they don't put up they don't score a touchdown again. 2 straight games now with no touchdowns.
Yeah, and Justin Fields was benched. I mean, the Jets were favored in this game. Don't ask me. They were favored by a point and a half. Um, but yeah, the Jets are terrible. The Bengals get to see them next week. Hopefully, they remain terrible for at least one more week.
That'd be nice.
And another team who's joining that list is the Miami Dolphins. I mean, 1-6. Tua today had 12 completions for 100 yards and 3 picks.
And he got benched too. I saw that they brought in,
Ewers.
yeah, Quinn Ewers came in. So, I mean, I don't see McDaniel if you lose that badly to the Browns, like, do you have a job tomorrow?
I mean, there's speculation. I don't know. I mean, you just never know with these things. But it's not like the Browns lit it on fire. I mean, Dylan Gabriel threw for 116 yards. Judkins was the star as he ran for 84 yards and 3 touchdowns. But
But,
not
like,
a ton of offense in that game, but
no, but,
man,
like,
the Dolphins just look awful.
and you heard Tua's comments last week after their game about how players are skipping, meetings and nobody knows if it's mandatory to go to this or voluntary to go to that, and players aren't showing up for this and that, and players are late to this. Code like there's just seems like there's no leadership, there's no direction. Like it's just nobody cares down there. Is basically the vibe I'm getting based on what Tua said. So if the culture like is that like how do you not make a change?
I don't know. And I mean, 2 years ago, he was one of the hot young coaches in the NFL. And it's just gone. And when you're winning, you can wear those high capri pants with your tag still on your shoe, and you don't look ridiculous. But when you're getting beat as bad as they did against the Browns and you're dressing like that, you kinda look like an idiot.
Yeah. Oh, he
So
he does look like an idiot. There's no doubt.
and I mean, 2 is I mean, he just signed his extension. I don't know what they're gonna do because I don't think he's a terrible quarterback. I don't know what's happening down there. I don't think the weather was great, and he's kinda struggled in bad weather games in the past. So maybe that's just
Nah,
kinda what it was, but
I
they
don't
got
think he's
issues
very
down
good.
there in Miami.
I don't think Tua was very good, to be honest with you. I think he's regressed a lot from when he first joined the league, and he's finally healthy. And when he was healthy in the past, he was good, but now something's wrong. But he's not very good.
Yeah, and I guess another one we need to talk about is the Broncos rally from 19 down going into the 4th quarter to win 33-32. They scored 0 points in the first 3 quarters and then put up 33 in the 4th. Jackson Dart, they got a pass interference at the 1, Giants did, with under a minute to go, and then Jackson Dart sneaked in with 37 seconds left to go up 32-30, and then the Broncos get down in field goal range, and Lutz hits a 39-yarder at the buzzer to win 33-32, but 33 points in the 4th quarter to win the game after not scoring in the first 3.
Yeah, I mean it's kind of reminiscent of what they did in Philly, what two weeks ago when their offense was just non-existent, and then all of a sudden in the fourth quarter they came back from 17 or something down against the Philadelphia Eagles on the road and got that W 2 weeks ago. So I don't know. I hate it because I don't want the Broncos to win because they're gonna be right there with the Bengals. If the Bengals have any hopes of making the playoffs, like they need NFC teams to beat these AFC teams. I don't know.
The Falcons and the Niners playing right now, and then tomorrow night there's 2 of them, but one of them is really interesting as the Bucks go to Detroit. I think we had in our top 10, we had the Lions and the Bucks as 1-2
Those are
on
one
Wednesday.
two. That's right. Where is that game in Detroit or is it down in Detroit? Yeah, I mean, Baker Mayfield, we talked about him being one of the MVP, front runners. So this is the chance for him to set himself apart from others in the league if he can go up there and get that win with Tampa. And Tampa's played all these close games. I expected another good one tomorrow night. So this is a chance, another opportunity for Baker Mayfield to show he's the real deal.
Yeah, but I where you started, I think that is the story of the week. The Chiefs are kind of back to being the Chiefs that we're accustomed to seeing. And I mean, I don't think the Raiders are very good, but just to put it on them the way they did, and they did commit a penalty this week too. That's so
Hey, look at that.
they committed 5. We did get a lot of comments on those posts saying, "Hey, they had 4 penalties, but they were declined."
Doesn't matter.
Those don't go in the box score, people.
Nope. Doesn't matter.
Those don't go in the box score.
That's when the
So,
official throws the flag after, oh, they already got a game. We'll throw a flag. Just throw them a bone just to say that we threw one and knowing it's going to be declined. Nope. Not buying it.
yeah, so good week NFL action. Looking forward to the Bucks Lions game tomorrow night, and we'll be with you on Wednesday to talk about that one. But I guess to kind of close, we had the Giants are looking for a new manager,
Yeah.
and looks like they're getting closer and closer to potentially making a hire like we haven't ever seen before, as the Tennessee Volunteers head baseball coach Tony Vitello looks like he might be the guy for the job, which Buster Posey's doing things a little different in San Francisco because we've never seen anything like this.
No, this is unprecedented. This would be the first time in Major League Baseball history that, a college coach takes an MLB managerial job with no prior professional experience. They never coached, managed, or anything in professional baseball. I think you mentioned, what is it? This Tennessee job was his first head coaching gig of anywhere.
Yeah, he took the job in 2018. Since then, they've been to those Supers 3 times, 21, 23, and 24, and then, of course, they won it all in 24. Before that, he was an assistant at Arkansas, TCU, and Missouri, and he played at TCU. He's only 47 years old.
Yeah, no, good for the Giants. I actually think this could be a great hire. He's a very fiery guy. I mean, very passionate. Like if you look at some of the things he does, and he's very animated in the dugout. He'll get after the managers. He'll fire up his team. He'll go after the other team sometimes too, and the other team's manager. So very fiery guy. I think he's probably will resonate well with the players. I think he'll be a players manager. So instead of recycling some of these fired managers that are out there in Major League Baseball, why not go for a new younger guy that who's had success in the college game and see what he can do? Why not?
Yeah, I mean, to me, the college game is so different than the bigs.
It is. Yeah.
It'll be a huge adjustment, and that's probably why we've never seen something like this before. I do wonder if there's like a previous relationship between Buster Posey and Vitello. Maybe they already kind of know each other. Maybe that's playing a role in this. I'm not sure. Um, but let's be real. The college game and Major League Baseball are so different in just every aspect of it. So, but it'll be interesting to see. And if it works, maybe it'll become something that happens all the time. But we haven't even like college basketball and football are more similar than baseball, to Major League Baseball. And you don't always see college coaches have a ton of success at the pro level in those sports either.
No, you don't. Even like the greatest college football coaches, like Nick Saban, goes to the NFL and kind of fails. So no, it doesn't work out very often. But like you said, we've never seen this in baseball, so maybe it'll be different for that sport. But I'm anxious to see. I mean, it's not official yet. He's not hired. It could come within the next couple days, hopefully. But I'm very anxious to see how this turns out because I think it could go well.
Maybe you could be the Pete Carroll or the Larry Brown.
Yeah,
There's been coaches that have done it, that have
yeah,
had success with it. It's just more often than not, it's not successful.
no,
So,
yeah.
but now, exciting week in football, and I'm excited to watch Shohei, whoever they play in the World Series next week. See if maybe he can have 4 home runs and go 7 innings and strike out 13.
I wouldn't put it past him. I think he could do it.
Yeah. So,
we're approaching college basketball season coming up, so got the
Dude, that is something to talk about.
yeah,
Like these exhibition games.
yeah.
What's your thought process on it? Like Kentucky's playing Purdue, Louisville's playing Kansas in these exhibition games where normally, I mean, you remember when we played athletes in action, like when we were
Athletes in
kids,
action, and
you know?
yeah, we have who else do we have out there? Athletes in action and uh global all stars or
Yeah.
something like whatever they were called. Yeah, no, I think this is absolutely great. It's a good test for your team. See where gauge where you're at before the season starts, and you'll get exposed. Like if you have flaws, they will get exposed, and it gives you a chance to fix them because like some of these teams that you used to play. I mean, it's what do we? It's a practice basically. Like you don't know if something's wrong with your team or they're not good in one area. Like it doesn't show up, but it will show up when Louisville plays Kansas and Kentucky plays Purdue and some of these teams. I think Vanderbilt already played Virginia. I saw Nebraska played BYU, and that freshman from BYU was did how do you pronounce his last name? Debonce or had 30 points in that game. He's the number 1 overall recruit. So
I'm gonna let you tackle that one.
yeah, I forgot. I can't pronounce his last name. But anyways, they these early season exhibitions good for the NCAA for allowing these finally to happen. It gives like when's the last time that Louisville had 20,000 fans for an exhibition game? Like, but they're not coming for Kentucky Wesleyan.
Never.
No, but
Never.
people are talking about this Friday night at the Yum Center is going to be the place to be because number one, the expectations that Louisville has, but number two, we don't see Kansas. We've never seen Kansas come in to Louisville, so it's something fresh, something new. It gives the fans to see their first look at this Louisville team and see how good they are.
No, I think it's awesome. And like a lot of people don't know these games are happening already. They're just closed. So like Louisville might potentially play at Kansas but they just do it in their
Secret.
practice gym
Yeah.
and nobody sees it.
Yep.
But if you're gonna play teams like this, you might as well do it in front of the fans and get
Make
them a
some
chance
money,
to see both teams.
and you make some money.
And they're making money. And they're going a lot of them are raising money for charities with these games,
Yep.
right?
Louisville,
Uh,
Louisville's
so
second game against Bucknell is a Friends of V Cancer Foundation. Some money from ticket sales goes back to the V Foundation on that one. So yeah, you're right.
so a lot of good things coming from this, and it's better basketball too. Like so, and don't expect it to be pretty because it's probably not going to be pretty. But it'd be like that on both sides. But
And win or lose, if Louisville beats Kansas or Kentucky beats Purdue, doesn't mean that they're going to win the national championship. And if they lose to Kansas and they lose to Purdue, doesn't mean that they're a terrible team. So like you can't really read much into it. Like I think I saw in the Vanderbilt Virginia game that just happened, they played for 48 minutes. They did quarters. Like it wasn't just like your normal. So I don't know what to expect on Friday and how they're going to do it. But it's not your normal game, and you're going to see different lineups, and it's not really going to be what you're going to see in this regular season. But it will be entertaining.
you know what? That's another maybe fun thing for the fans because in these close scrimmages, like you might play 3 quarters and then just be like, hey, let's just blank the board and let's just run out of bounds plays. So you might see stuff like that, which fans might get a better look of kind of what goes on behind the scenes a little bit too, which could be exciting. Because you're right, I bet they don't just go out there and play 220s. You know, so
Yep, it'll be
but
interesting.
it's kind of wild that college basketball is almost here, but we'll have plenty of college basketball coverage here on the height differential as we are in the mecca of college basketball country.
And got to give a shout out to our favorite women's basketball team, the Jeff Walls led Louisville Cardinals, preseason number 20 in the
So,
AP poll.
yeah, excited for that team too. A lot of new faces. See how they gel, and they get the privilege of starting the season out in Germany against
Well,
the defending national champions.
that's TBD with the government shutdown.
Yeah,
So
we'll see.
they're still working on that. So we'll see where they play. They'll play UConn. There's no doubt about it.
Just
It
not
might
sure where
not
it's
be
gonna
in
be.
Germany. We'll see where we'll see where they end up somewhere on the globe.
So, no, basketball's almost here. We're in the height of the football season. It's a fun time to be a sports fan, and just make sure you're coming back every week to the Height Differential. Subscribe on all of the platforms. We're everywhere: Spotify, Apple, YouTube, wherever you listen to your podcast. We are there, and we appreciate all of y'all listening. But I think that's all I got for this one.
Yep. That's all I
But
got. Yep.
For the tall idiot over there, I'm the short idiot. That's Neil. I'm Nick. We'll talk to you on Wednesday.